You know, I have beginners in this channel and they tend to ask me indicators and can basically show them supply and demand zone, because when they try to do this live on their charts, they tend to do it wrongly. Okay, I understand you 100%, but what you're supposed to really know is that not all indicators work as we really expect. And so guys, I've tried to look at indicators that can show you supply and demand zone, and I came across this indicator and I happened to introduce this indicator in my channel, and I promised you to do a separate video showing you how you can really see supply and demand zone using this indicator. So I promise that. So guys, we're going to look at this indicator right away that is going to show us supply and demand zone. It's an indicator that we all really know, but we're just going to do some changes so that we can remain with what we really want right in this video. Okay, so guys, welcome you to Money Close the Forex Education YouTube channel. Maybe it's the first time you came across my channel. I really welcome you. Kindly join us by subscribing to this channel, clicking on that red button written subscribe, and definitely you'll be part of this amazing family, because I believe and honestly I know this is where you belong. If you're already part of this family, I really salute you. Before that, I really want to talk about supply and demand zone, because there is some things I really want to put across before we insert the indicator, because you really have to understand what is supply and what is demand zone. So what you basically supposed to understand about supply and demand zone, you're supposed to know that supply and demand in Forex is the driving force behind changes in price. So when there are more buyers than sellers, the market rise mover. Conversely, when there are more sellers than buyers, the market price will move down. And when buyers and sellers are more or less even, the market will definitely range. So as well, supply refers to amount of an asset that is available, while demand is the quantity of an asset that people are willing to buy. As supply of an asset increases, its value declines. Conversely, as supply of an asset decreases, its value rises. And as well as demand of an asset increases, its value rises. Okay, so when you understand the whole concept about supply and demand, it will basically easier for you to really trade also using supply and demand. So guys, I basically want to add the indicator right on our chart. So just going to click on indicators tab. Once you click on indicators tab, I'm just going to type fluid trades SMC light. Click on it. Once you click on it, this is the indicator we're just going to use right here, showing us the supply and demand zone, and we're going to look at this on different time frames. So guys, there is things we want to really eliminate or rather remove from the indicator. So go directly on settings. Once you go directly on settings, we're just going to change the opacity to 0. Once you do like that, we basically need supply and demand zone, and you can see the supply zone is actually highlighted in cream color over here, and we have a demand zone over here with the blue color. Okay, so this indicator shows the supply and demand zone. So to a trader, you can basically use this indicator, and as well what you're supposed to understand about supply and demand zone, we can use them as our point of interest. And it being a point of interest, meaning this is why you can basically look the market from. Remember, we have seen that supply and demand zone, it is a driving force behind changes in price. So supply and demand plays a very vital role in Forex trading. So guys, you can see right here we have supply zone, and basically what you're supposed to really know on supply zone, most likely you can look for your selling order, and demand zone as well, you can look for your buying order. But there is something that can really happen in Forex trading. So sometimes you'll find that price has already broken above your supply zone, and sometimes you'll find that the price has already broken below your demand zone, where you were supposed to look for your sell and buy order respectively. So what are you supposed to know? When you are on your supply zone over here, you're supposed to know that price has a probability of buying, and as well the price has a probability of selling. So the only thing you really need right here is confirmation. You can use confirmation like candlestick patterns. You can use confirmation like multiple weeks, momentum, breakout structure, change of character. But having a mentality that, oh, you're sure that on demand zone the market will have to buy, or rather on your supply zone the market has to sell, that is a trap. Remove that mentality, because the market has a probability of actually disrespecting the zone. So this is 30 minutes time frame. So this is your point of interest right here. When you are actually confirming trades, you can basically wait for market to break this structure over here. Candlestick closing below the structure, you can execute your sell order. And when you are on your demand zone over here, and as well you can probably see there is several structures over here. There was indecision in the market. When you see this momentum candlestick pattern, it happens to close above the structure, execute your buy order. So this is a supply and demand zone indicator that you can use, and also the strategy I'm showing you trading understanding supply and demand zone, it can be very, very productive. The secret I can actually expose to you is like, don't rely on one confirmation. Don't rely like candlestick patterns. You can rely on candlestick patterns, like for instance, you saw this candlestick pattern and you expect the market to actually rise to the upside, okay? And it happens the market is actually rejected, having rejected by higher prices. And there is too much rejection of higher prices. It shows you that sellers are really in control and the market really pushes to the downside. So there is no limitation of using this indicator. You can use it from 5 time frames to higher time frames. Remember, I've said from 5 minutes time frame. So when it comes to 1 minute time frame, this can really create confusion, and you can actually rely on 5 minutes to higher time frames up to daily time frame. Another example right here, we had end demand zone at this given point, and we have structures over here that needs to be broken. And once structures are broken, the market really proceeded. The only thing you really have to understand, when you are on your supply zone, there is a probability that sellers are defending their position over here and they can push the market to the downside. But I've told you, this is forex trading. You can see the market breaking above depending on the pressure there is in the market, okay? So at this given point over here, this is where you'll be looking the market from. This is where your attention should be drawn, looking at what is happening at this given point over here. And as well, looking at what is happening on demand zone, having a mentality, number one, you can look for either buying or selling order, regardless whether you are on your supply zone, regardless whether you are on your demand zone. So this is why I really love this indicator, because these zones over here remains very, very valid, especially when the market is trending, and as well when the market is actually ranging. Remember, the same way we trade supply and demand zone on ranging market is not the same way we trade supply and demand zone on a trending market. Why? On a ranging market, we sell respectively on supply zone and we buy respectively on demand zone. Why? Because we have equal highs and we have equal lows. And as well, when the market is rising, demand zones tends to be respected, okay? And supply zones tends to be broken above. And when the market is really dropping, supply zones tends to be respected and demand zones tends to be broken below. That's what you're really supposed to understand. Trading a supply and demand on a ranging market is not the same way you trade a trending market. That's what you're really supposed to understand. Understanding the market structure and understanding the supply and demand zone. Maybe in future, I will do a video explaining the market structure plus the supply and demand zone. Okay, so guys, let me hope you've learned something from this video. Let me wish you nothing but the best. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't. Like this video as well. Continue working hard, because I really know one day your hard work will pay you. So what do I say, guys? Bye bye. See you in my next video.